In this series, I want to share with you how I went from this initial idea for the game to this near finished product of the game. I would say all of my life I've been a game creator, but a little over 2 years ago I started taking it seriously, and it culminated in a game called Wondrous. Wondrous is not a bad game. In fact, I find it pretty fun. But I read a blog that said if you're a Magic the Gathering player, your first game design outside of playing Magic is probably going to be super inspired by it, and you just got to get it out of your system. And that was Wondrous for me. I'm sharing this because I just finished a book called Show Your Work, and in it encouraged me to think process, not product, and teach what you know. For Wondrous, I made a lot of mistakes, and so I'm not necessarily encouraging you to buy the game. It's available, but I'm going to bring you up to speed with a new game that I'm working on. I had this idea for a game when I was at my family's tree farm. So I see a bunch of these acres of trees and how cousins help each other kind of manage it. And I was thinking to myself, man, how interesting it is that it's a great thing that everyone's able to work together, but kind of the gamer in me was thinking, what if you weren't so easily working together? What if there was reasons not to work together? And so that first idea of, well, what would happen? Currently, you've got all these acres that don't have any fences on them and just a bunch of trees. So what would change? Immediately, not immediately. And so that's where the game started churning in my head. And that was Thanksgiving around this time. And so you can see not too long after that, I came up with this first initial idea of, okay, you've got these acres, this empty wood, and there's going to be a component in there that is going to be wood, and then you are trying to collect that wood yourself and then sell that wood or process it in a way that gets you more money than all of your other family members. And in that, people are going to get frustrated. They're going to start building fences, and thus the area control is going to start ensuing. And so it was going to be like drafting, area control, and with the goal being make more money than your cousins. And so that's the initial idea. My first advice in all of this process is make your designs in Canva. The best thing about all of this for me is I can see my version histories and go through my version histories as if they were individual files. So I'm going back through and I can see on December 11th, 2024, I finished my first mock-up of my acres board. Pretty sweet. So the first thing is the base board. I had the idea early on, and it's still pretty much the structure the entire way of you should be able to plant, then thin, which is like cutting down some trees so others can grow, and then a true harvest, and then finally a market. What are you going to do with that money? I think two important things that I did early on was I got this idea onto paper or onto this design software, and then I ordered a prototype. I use the Game Crafter. I think they're amazing, but I ordered a prototype of what I think it should happen. It wasn't perfect. Obviously, it didn't have any of the action descriptions here, but I can use a piece of paper or word of mouth and figure things out and just put sticky notes all over this. That way it's temporary. That way I'm not, I can get a very flexible prototype. I just knew that there needed to be a grid where all the wood was going to go, the acres where the fences are going to go, and then I needed a section for the drafting and the actions. And this is what I think helped create the process a lot faster and smoother, is because I had immediate progress, but it was flexible. So I spent money, making this. It's not cheap always to make 100 of these, but it's cheap if you make one of them, especially with the Game Crafter, and then you make it malleable to all your playtesting. People like seeing just some immediate art. I just used Canva's free tools to grab this art. I'm going to use real artists later, but for now, the purpose of all these free assets on Canva is great. For a long time, this is how I would make my work in progress action boards. And so I would have this guy laid out and pretty much fold him over like so, and this would become the action board on top of this section. I'm going to have another video where I talk about how to use their assets and design something like this on Canva in the Game Crafter. But I think this was crucial to my early playtesting with a lot of people because it was immediate buy-in. I went to the Game Crafter and found a bunch of these small wooden discs and in the different player colors, and then I also found the Catan like road for the fences, and so these were super nice, and they fit pretty easily into the box. The two components that I loved the most were these dark wood discs that were easily stackable, so if trees grew, then they could stack on top of each other pretty easily. And the one that's my favorite are these trucks. These trucks are awesome pieces. I think they were great, and it could be a very fun thing as you're sitting at the table. You're just playing with your the same thing Catan. You're building little fun things while you're waiting for your turn, and these trucks were just an awesome, cool little added component to it. One thing that get my head outside of the game when I needed a break, when I was stuck on the design, is I created the box. When it arrived, I'll show you the picture here, I was ecstatic. I instantly shared it, and it brought a lot more inspiration back into continuing this process. So I encourage you, if you're stuck at some point and you're really not sure what to do, like I was, playtesting, a lot of people giving you feedback of like, this needs to change, but I don't know how. I actually think that creating a box is a great principle of literally going away so you can come back from the book. That about wraps it up for video 1, talking about my process in making the game up to this point. But like and subscribe, because part 2, I'm going to show you how I went from this to this.